Hello, everyone. Once again, Kevin here with our PSVG E3 coverage. Day 2 is when I'm recording this. Brought a different friend along with me this time from the OT. We tried to get both of them, and Coach is off being coach, doing coach things. So naturally, he couldn't be here, but we miss your brother. But I do have his co-host, Mr. Devin Tice. Sir, how are we doing?
Doing really good. I'll try and just, hold it down for Coach. I mean, those are some mighty large shoes to fill, but I'm going to do my best.
That's factual. That's factual. See, I was trying. The game plan was I was going to try and recreate each of the weekly shows this week with E3 coverage. So I'll be doing something with Seth for PSXP, and I was hoping this would be OT. We'll make it be OT. It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll be random, completely unorganized, and awkward intro. I think we're already doing. So
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the OT's bag. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. So this podcast is here to talk specifically about Ubisoft. And I mean, who better to talk about Ubisoft other than me and Dev? Anyway, let's be honest. I couldn't pick two better in the PSVG lineup, right?
Nope.
Okay, just fair. So Ubisoft went on today and did their press conference today, being Monday, right? Yes, It's all a blur already, man. E3 got me running ragged. They went on a little over an hour and 15-minute presentation, so just about what I expected, I think. And we're going to kind of break through the different announcements and things we saw and heard and dive right into it, I think, because we got a lot to talk about here. They did show a lot. I will say, starting off, I am extremely disappointed they did not kick this thing off with Just Dance. I expect that.
I mean, I would have been excited that it kicked it off with Just Dance just to get it out the way.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of the trend, but it's always this ridiculous dance number with all these crazy characters, and they did do it eventually. We'll get to that later, but I'm disappointed that that's what kicks it off every year for like the last at least 3 years, if not longer. It's the 10th anniversary of Just Dance, and they didn't kick it off. They had this orchestral thing going for like 10 minutes, I think,
right?
Just playing music.
Game that's not even coming out. Like, we got an orchestra for Assassin's Creed, but we're not having an Assassin's Creed game this year.
Right.
Well, we're going to lead with the orchestra. I mean, whatever.
I mean, listen, it's beautifully done. The music is great. I'll give them that. And I get they're promoting this tour that's going to happen with this. But, I mean, when you think of video game music, there's certain themes that come to your head. You know, Mario, Zelda, Halo. Like, those are the things, Final Fantasy. Like, you remember those things. I couldn't tell you Assassin's Creed music. Like, I can't sit there and hum it right now for you. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't either. That's why I was like shocked. Like, really? We're having an Assassin's Creed orchestra? Like, this is a thing?
So who's paying for these tickets? Who's going out and saying, Gia, we're going out to the theater, to the orchestra, and then you sit down and it's Assassin's Creed. Like, no, yeah. I'll be caller 10 and win some tickets on the radio, but I'm not paying for that. But anyway. No. It was cool, but it reminded me of the Sony one from years ago where they did the God of War trailer and they had like the live orchestra, but nowhere near as good.
It's like Simpsons did it.
Fair enough. So, all joking aside, let's get into the games, which was the majority of what they talked about. And we're kicking things off big with probably the one you and I were most hyped for, at least up until we saw the trailer. We'll get to our thoughts in a minute. Watch Dogs Legion leaked out, day or two before E3?
Yeah, a couple days.
So I stayed away and I didn't read anything. I just saw what you guys posted in Discord just saying like, hey, you can take over NPCs, and that's it. Like, I stopped reading them. I'm waiting for the trailer. I've been looking forward to this for too long. I didn't want to know anything else.
I did the same.
Right. And this was the first thing. Number one, be out March 6th, 2020. So we don't have to wait too long. Nice time frame. I was hoping for this fall, but you know what? We got a lot going on, so I'm good with it.
Well, we got a lot going on in the spring now, too. It's like,
that's
Jesus.
True. This is second year in a row.
Yeah.
Spring was big. I mean, well, actually, if you take Sony's made spring big the last 3 or 4 years now, going between God of War and like Spider-Man. Like, they do this all. Yeah. They showed us an extensive gameplay demo for Watch Dogs, almost to the point that I'm like, it was almost too long.
Right.
Because, but maybe that's just because like they showed 2 minutes and I'm like sold. But, I mean, maybe for some people, it's like, man, get it over with, especially if you're not a Watch Dogs fan. And you and I experience that a lot where we have people like, we're saying, no, Watch Dogs is great. And everyone's like, no, it's not. We're like, no, it's good. So I can't imagine for people who are just not interested in Watch Dogs at all. I don't know if this trailer did anything for those people to win them over.
Right. I mean, it's weird because it's not at all what I was expecting. Like, I'm used to like a very driven character narrative, but the fact that you can play as any NPC or that you recruit, how, I mean, I get the overall like arcing story is to like free London of like the hypocrisy of everybody just being able to see everything, and just to free London is the whole thing.
Yep.
But there's no particular character that's driving the engine, unless it's the AI, which seems like it is. But I mean, if am I going to care about any of the characters, especially if it seems like they're permadeath? You know, like the one dude died and it was like permadeath. You're like, oh, that's different. Like, I kind of think that's cool, because then it's going to make you play the game in a way where the characters may matter enough to where you're not just going to go in guns blazing because you don't want to lose this character that maybe you've leveled up and you're trying to amass this army that is very, very skilled. So maybe that's where it takes it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to deal with that much management.
Sure. I think that's fair. And for those of you that didn't watch, as Devin said, you're DedSec still, of course, naturally, and your job is recruiting this team. And each character in this world, you could potentially recruit to your DedSec army, if you will. But they each have unique abilities and things that they're better at. So you might get somebody who's not good at hand-to-hand combat or gun shooting, but they can hack, like crazy. So it makes you think about balancing your team and who do I need? What do I need to get this mission done? But you can recruit anybody. You'll play, as they described in the press conference, an intro to that person, basically their background story you get. So it gives you some sort of semblance of that character. So yes, it's not a story, so you don't get as attached to them, I'm sure, as if you're playing, Watch Dogs 1 or 2, where you got to know those characters inside and out. They're still making some sort of attempt to get you to know these people. I'm okay with it, to be honest. I think that initial thing where, hey, you can recruit any NPC got me scared at first, but it seems like they're doing something. And I'll tell you one reason why it doesn't scare me too much. You think about if you play Watch Dogs and kind of just explore that world, you're able to hack anybody's cell phone. You're getting little snippets of stories from people.
Yeah.
And now it's just expanding further on that. And I think if they just kind of hone in the world, so you think of London, it's not as wide open as like San Francisco,
right,
or even Chicago for that matter, where you had the first one. It's a little more closed in, so I bet it's not as big of an open world. So they're spending more time in those characters as opposed to the world being a character. In San Francisco, that environment was very much a massive part of that story. I think London, while yes, the whole premise is to free London, I bet you it's a little more controlled and you don't get outside into like the countryside. I bet you stay in the burbs, if you will. And they may spend more time on character development there too. But I like it. I'm down for it. But yeah, I do have some concerns just with, you need somebody to root for, somebody to connect with, and the AI can probably do it for a little bit, but it is obviously a smart AI, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's not really an AI at all once you get further into the story. But yeah, it's a little tough having Jarvis be your main character to connect with. But I'm still excited for it. I'm down for it. I love the masks. Once they go into action, the different kinds of masks you get between the pig and like the skull with the crown, that's pretty cool. So that's fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. I'm excited, and I'm wondering just like how different your gameplay experiences can be. Because like me, I'm not trying to actually have to ever fire a gun. I want to see if I can get through just hacking. So I'm wondering if there are ways to do that, or if there are going to be missions where it's going to cause you to have to actually go into action in that way, which then makes you have to recruit people. But you know what? I'm down for Guy Ritchie Watch Dogs. I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what it really is. I love the new robots we're seeing, like the little scorpion spider thing. That thing's awesome. Like, I mean, there's a lot of cool upgrades in this one for sure. I will say, and maybe this has me a little concerned, is it's a little bit more outside the realm of reality the other two were. Like, I mean, yeah, the other two were still outside of reality, but they're a little more grounded as far as the technology and stuff. This one is clearly like way beyond. Yeah. And I will say, I hate drones. I hated them in Watch Dogs 2, and it makes me mad. Like, you're going to be a primary enemy in this one. Clearly, it looks like. So I'm like, oh man,
I loved hacking the drone. So I
did too, but shooting them was a pain.
I didn't shoot them. I hacked them.
That's true. You didn't shoot anybody.
I didn't shoot much at all. Like the only thing that I shot were people when I had to tase them. So if I can go through not having to use a gun again, because I never even upgraded the guns because I was like, I can just hack things and stay hidden.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. So Watch Dogs, thumbs up for me at least.
Oh yeah.
Next game I want to talk a little about. They showed a teaser, not really much into gameplay, of basically, everyone was wondering what Ubisoft was going to do for Nintendo, and apparently they're just making Legend of Zelda. The adventure game called Gods and Monsters by the team who actually worked on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is insane that considering they put out that game, they've done DLC for that game. There's a new mode being introduced to that game now that they talked about in the Ubisoft pre-show. They developed this whole game that's radically different than Assassin's Creed, like both graphically and everything. Yes, it's still inspired by that same type of Greek god mythology, but I mean, this is a very different game. Looks very much like Breath of the Wild. You fight mythological creatures. They described it as a storybook adventure about a forgotten hero on a quest to save the Greek gods. And it's coming out February 25th, by the way. That's
February
right.
5th.
5th? Oh, I have 25th on this. Okay. Either way, February. So this team has built this other game entirely radically different, and it's still coming out in less than a year. That's nuts.
That's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy that they've been able to create this entire world, and they're still working on Odyssey. Like, when did they have time to do that?
It's true. It's insane. It's absolutely nuts. But it looks pretty cool, at least from what we've seen. No actual gameplay or anything like that. So we'll see more, I'm sure. But definitely something to keep your eye on, especially if you're a Nintendo fan. I think it has that same style to it, clearly.
So is it coming to Nintendo? Because I'm looking at GameStop's thing, and it says PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. It doesn't say Switch.
Oh, see, I thought it did say Switch.
I thought so too, and GameStop may just have it wrong, but I was just looking for a roundup of everything, and it doesn't say Switch, which I find very odd.
See, I thought it did say it in the trailer. Yep, it's coming to Switch.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's being reported everywhere, so yeah, I don't know why they don't have pre-orders up, but yeah, it's definitely coming same day and date too. I didn't think Ubisoft would leave them hanging on something like that.
Yeah,
but
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, agreed. Next thing to talk about, because everybody's doing it, Ubisoft is launching its own subscription, Uplay Plus. So, $15 a month gets you access to a library of over 100 Ubisoft games and all of their DLC, which is pretty awesome. It will include early access and new releases like Watch Dogs Legions. It'll launch on September 3rd, and they're giving away a month free, I think, too, to try it out if you sign up. And in 2020, it'll be playable on Stadia. So there you go. If you're looking for games to play on Stadia and you don't want to pay that full price, you can do your $15 a month, add it to your $11 a month for Google Stadia to stream them, and you can go. Yeah. But
I'm excited for Ubi Pass. I mean,
right.
I have a PC now that actually plays games, so I'm really excited for the fact that not only is it giving you a Game Pass, it's also giving you all the DLC.
That's big. I love that.
It's huge. So like, I don't have to worry about, okay, I got the game for free, now I got to go out and also get, the DLC if I like it, or the extra expansion packs or whatnot. The fact that it gives you, like, you're getting it all. You're paying us for this pass, you're getting it all, plus you're getting all our old games. Like, I think this is fantastic. And I hope that it eventually comes to more systems. I know it took forever for like the EA pass to come to PS4, but I'm hoping that this is the reason why maybe it's not coming to PS4 or Xbox One right away is because it's coming to next gen. So hopefully
I can believe.
Scarlet
sure.
And PS5. I mean, it's coming to Stadia, so I'm a happy camper. I love this. This is perfect for me.
I agree. If I had a PC that could handle that kind of stuff, I'd be down for it. And if it ever comes to consoles, I'm seriously all over that. That's a great deal. And look at it this way. Now I expect you to stream Just Dance because you'll have all the DLC content, all the extra songs just included.
My kids really like Just Dance. So it makes me sad.
All right, well, stream cute little dad videos of you dance with the kids. It's all good.
I'm not dancing. I'll let the wife do that.
Hey now. So moving on. This game was leaked. I don't know if it was leaked or announced early, but Roller Champions, that roller derby kind of Quidditch kind of thing. I don't really know. I made fun of it before when Donnie first talked about it, first posted the trailer, and I was like, well, this is like Metroid Prime Federation Force, that blast ball thing, just on rollerblades.
Yeah.
It's being described as a skill-based team PvP sports game. You'll be able to play a pre-alpha demo for the next few days on PC. It's available now. You can do it. Trailer looked pretty cool. It's just not something I'm super into. Much like Rocket League, like I tried it. I'm like, okay, I get it. I know why people like it, but I would never sit there and just play this kind of over and over again. I don't think it's just not for me.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, is this like their take on Rocket League? That's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
it's got to be.
It looks hilarious. Like it reminds me of like when Rockstar did the ping pong game.
Yes.
This is what this makes me think of. I mean, definitely not up my bag, but if I got Ubi Pass, I'll try it out.
That's true. If it ever hits like Game Pass or Games of the Gold or something like that, yeah, this is something I definitely try out. But I'm not putting down the dollars for it personally. But it looks cool. Good on them. They're trying to. The one thing you can say about Ubisoft before we can move on further into this list, they're very diverse with their games. Not to delve into other press conferences, but Square Enix, 90% RPGs, Bethesda, and 90% shooters. Like Ubisoft, pretty well rounded. They kind of do a little bit of everything, which is funny because if you recall, this is a company that was on the verge of being bought out like 6 months ago. Like they were fighting tooth and nail to make sure they stayed their own company, and it's like they're the most diverse, I think, third party out there right now, as far as other than maybe EA. But EA is obviously way bigger than Ubisoft, so it's cool. I appreciate it. I like what they do. This next one, I want to talk a little bit about this one because this one intrigued me here. Rainbow Six Quarantine is the next Rainbow Six game. It's a 3-player tactical player versus enemy co-op game coming in early 2020. Appears to be almost like a horror type zombie game. They didn't give you a ton of details other than that it's just something radically different that they were trying. And the trailer for it seemed really cool, I think. And I'm all for having a player versus enemy instead of just PvP all the time. That's one of the things that scares me about Siege is like, I can't jump into that game. I'm just going to get wrecked like right away. There's no learning curve if you didn't play it like right from the start. But if you have one where you're teaming up with people that can help you and you have an objective just against the game, I think it's a lot easier and more adaptable for more people to jump in and appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as there's like an upgrade path and like an actual story instead of if it's just like 3 of us versus a monster and then we just go into another place and there's the same thing. Like as long as there's like some actual like story building and I've got like upgrade trees, I'm all for it. And that's my fear. My worry is that it doesn't have that. It's just literally like just a 3-on-1 monster thing. So
right.
But it looks really, really cool. And I know that when they had the little quarantine mode in Rainbow Six, people loved it. So they definitely saw that hype and built on and have created something around it. So I'm excited for that.
For sure. And one of the other things too is I want to touch on this because this caught my eye too, was on top of Ubisoft's game diversity, the diversity of their team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw people of every color, men and women. Like the head developer, the head designer of Rainbow Six Quarantine was a woman. And like, and not to sound derogatory or anything like that, but that shocked me because you saw the trailer first and then you're like, here's the lead designer. I'm thinking, you're like, oh, okay, this chick with pink hair is like making this super dark horror, Rainbow Six shooter, which is, to me, it was nuts. And it's just, once again, something that shows that I think Ubisoft is really a company that cares about their people, cares about the fans, and cares about the games. And I think it shows. And especially, I mean, you and I have been waving that banner for the last couple of years that like they make some great games lately. Yes. They're just on fire.
Absolutely.
And I think they're just attracting the right people to do these things, and it shows.
Yeah, like you spoke about the buyout earlier. I'm so glad they fought tooth and nail to not let that happen, so they could stay who they were. Like it's incredible. I love it.
Absolutely. So the next thing, as we kind of alluded to at the beginning, that Just Dance 2020 is coming. They put on a little musical number, which I got excited for, which I still think it should have been at the beginning because I was laughing. Like, I don't care. They showed 0 gameplay footage of what Just Dance looks like because they don't have to. We know at this point. It's been 10 years, 10-year anniversary of Just Dance, which is insane when you think about it. So the next one is coming to Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, and Wii. Not Wii U. No. Not Wii U. Wii. I think every single Just Dance game has been released on the Wii. So I think at this point, they just do it because they feel like they have to. It's like their good luck charm.
I mean, that and the fact that the Wii user base is still large as heck. Everybody got a Wii, right? So why not?
I guess so. I just don't know who's buying it. Like, where do you go to buy it? Like, you have to buy it online. Like, Target doesn't have a Wii section. Toys R Us. Toys R Us doesn't even exist anymore. Like, nobody's stocking it physically. I think in stores. Like, it's got to be just .com only.
That's funny. Imagine if we do see just a Wii section with just this. Like, if they just put it with the Switch stuff. Like, and here it is for the Wii. Like, that wouldn't surprise me in the least.
And then that poor kid who asked for it for Christmas and grandma bought it and got the Wii version of the Switch. Like, what is this?
Oh man!
And is it still going to cost $60, or is it cheaper on Wii? Like,
it needs to be.
Can it have DLC? Like, Wii Shop is closed, right? It's shut down.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how this works, but all right. Moving on, because everybody has to have at least one in their press conference now within the last few years. Mobile game, new mobile strategy game called Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. Will bring characters from multiple Clancy franchises together. There's a bunch of Rainbow Six characters. And unfortunately, the only appearance we had of Sam Fisher at this conference, which I cannot believe. But before we get to that, let's talk about the game first. Before we harp on why there's no Splinter Cell, appears to be a squad-based. I'm not sure if it's player versus player, if that's a mode in it, because it always looked like you were fighting enemies.
Right.
So I'm not sure if it's really like a single player game, but basically it's a turn-based strategy, like XCOM-esque game. I feel like is the best way to describe it. It just utilizes all different characters with different abilities. They didn't really say too much about it, other than it was going to be iOS, Android. I think they even said it was going to be on Steam as well too. So all right, fine, looks cool, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, Splinter Cell. So we're not going to bury the lead here and save it till the end of the thing. No Splinter Cell. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a huge Splinter Cell fan, but I want to see a new Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Like, just 'cause I'm a gaming fan. I want to see that, and I know people want it. That hype would be there. Who knows? Maybe I would buy it, but I can't believe they kept him wait this long, especially when they put him in the Wildlands. They had those Sam Fisher missions. Like, how was that not like here comes a new Splinter Cell?
Yeah, they put him in the Wildlands. You had one of the directors like tweet something out about it, and then to not have anything at all. I mean, it just seems like such a huge miss. And people have been itching for a new game from that franchise for I don't know how long. Like, we've been waiting forever. And while it was always for me an Xbox franchise, so I've not really played any of them.
Right.
I mean, I see it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I want to play it. Let me get that. But the fact that they still haven't released, I'm just like, what are y'all doing? So I can only imagine that they're waiting maybe for next gen or something like that. But I imagine that whenever it does come, it should be pretty beefy and pretty good.
That's the only thing I can think of is that next year, because of the omissions we had in this conference, we're not done with it yet, guys. We're just kind of detouring here. There was no Far Cry shown. There was no resurgence of Beyond Good and Evil, which we kind of knew that wasn't going to be there. They said it wasn't going to be there. And no Splinter Cell. It makes me just think like, okay, is that the lineup for next year then that they're going to show right away? But like, hey, here's the big guns for next gen. That's a pretty big show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this E3 has felt a little off because everything is coming out one in 2020, and it seems like it's that dying gasp of this gen. So that could be very well what it is. Like, okay.
And Assassin's Creed. Right. And Assassin's Creed next year. Yep.
Right. We've got this couple of games we're going to put out here, and then we're going to hold on to the big stuff until next year. So
I mean, it makes sense, I guess. So, is what it is. Division 2, not dead yet. Game's first major update, DC Outskirts Expeditions, will kick off July 1st with Episode 1, sending you to different places like the National Zoo. Episode 2 will drop this fall. We'll send you into the Pentagon, which is kind of awesome. And Episode 3 will put you back in New York City in early 2020. The upcoming movie, directed by David Leitch, will also Netflix. So that's going to be kind of cool, I think. And Division 2, if you haven't dove in yet and you're interested, will be free to play from June 13th through the 16th as well. So hop on that if you're interested. For me, if it was longer, I might. I feel like I'm not going to get much done in 3 days.
No,
that's going to warrant that download.
So you're going to get nothing done.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. I'm interested, but I think I'm just waiting for that price drop in Division 2.
Yeah, I mean, and you gotta wonder if it's even gonna come because they are pumping out so much stuff. But I mean, it'll be passed, right?
Fair enough. I'll just wait for that.
I think it's great that they have really stuck with the Division. I mean, the first one, it launched rocky. It had a lot of problems with the end game, but they stuck with it. And I mean, Ubisoft is really good at sticking with their franchises and making sure that they actually become like they meet the vision for them. So I'm glad that they are sticking with Division 2. They're pumping out content. I know their raid got pushed back, it got delayed or whatnot. Right. Finally came out, and now we've got more content coming. So I think this is great. I think, and I mean, going back to New York, I think it's cool because I feel like that story is still like unresolved. So
yeah, definitely,
I'm with it.
Agreed. So no new Assassin's Creed, as we mentioned earlier, but it's getting a story creator and discovery tour modes. Those are the ones that they kind of showed a little bit in the pre-show even. So it's a quest building mode where players can build their own Assassin's Creed missions, including dialogue and branching pathways, and share with other people. So similar to what they did in Far Cry a little bit. And I never really messed around with it, how you can create your own levels and stuff like that. So they're doing the same thing with Assassin's Creed. It's an open beta starting today. And Discovery Tour is, I think it's pretty cool. It's something I think that they should have done or should continue to do, to teach the history behind these eras that they're putting you through this game. So you can wander through ancient Greece, unhindered by enemies, nothing there, nothing trying to kill you, learning about its history throughout the process. And there's like little, even like quizzes to take as you're doing it. So I thought that was something just really cool that you know that the development team, just when you see these Assassin's Creed games, they spend so much time researching, getting facts, getting stories to build this story, these games up from the ground up. Why not use that information you already have and try and teach somebody else? Like, that's pretty cool, I think.
I love it. I think it's amazing. The Discovery Tour stuff that they do is perfect. Like, I mean, you can just go in and wander and learn the history of what went on there. I love how they did that with Origins. I think this is awesome. And I think the story creator is also going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you're going to have a lot of people that are just going to dive in and create probably an amazing Assassin's Creed game. I mean, look at what people are doing with Dreams.
Yeah.
So imagine what they can do in this when they don't have to create an engine. It's already there. It's just like, here you go. All of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, build a game. So I think this is going to be pretty awesome. I think people are going to dive into it and really create some really cool stuff.
Cool to see. Rainbow Six Siege, as we mentioned earlier, still continue on. Next season, Operation Phantom Sight is out tomorrow. For those of you that are into that game, like I said, for me, it's too steep of a learning curve. I don't see new players being able to jump in and do anything with that game without just getting slaughtered.
Yeah. It looks great. I always want to play it, but I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to get murdered and be angry.
Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of being murdered and angry, For Honor has a new limited time event, Shadows of the Hitokiri, which had a cool trailer. This game always kind of interests me, but not enough to actually go ahead and play it. Like, I think I got it too. I think I have it with Games with Gold or PlayStation Plus, something. I think I have For Honor.
Yeah,
but
it's on one of them. I have it too. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't want it. But that event looked pretty cool, at least from the cinematic trailer they showed you. But yeah, it's just happy murder fun time stuff, I guess, just throughout history.
To me, it felt like their zombie mode.
Sure. Okay.
Like this is their attempt at zombies in For Honor. But again, this just goes back to like they have just stuck with this franchise and they're putting out content. I remember seeing a tweet, somebody saying, people are still playing this? Yeah, people are still playing. Like, it got the spectator mode too. So it's like people are still playing this game and they're still adding content to it. I mean, Ubisoft, they deliver a product and they stick with it.
Sure. Brawlhalla is still a thing. This I don't get. So in Brawlhalla, a game that nobody really plays anymore. Number one, I guess. I mean, maybe they do. I mean, we're just out of it. I don't see people playing it, talking about it, anything. And a show that's been canceled that nobody talks about, nobody watches anymore. Adventure Time. They're mashing up. Jake, Finn, and Princess Bubblegum will be added to the game as playable characters, plus a new buddy match type where you can play two characters at once, which that's got to be confusing as heck too.
Right.
Update available now, and the new characters are playable for free until June 25th. And then if you want them, you got to pay money.
I like Brawlhalla, not gonna lie. I remember when I first saw it. Oh, this is cool. This is a way for me to play something Smash like if I don't own Nintendo.
Sure.
So it's cool. I guess people still play it. I mean, I feel like there's plenty of tournaments to go on with Brawlhalla. But, and I know Adventure Time, I believe it just ended like a year ago. They had like their final episode or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
But it seems like such an odd crossover. Like, I don't understand the appeal. Like it just seems like a really, really weird crossover. But for those people who like both of them and play Brawlhalla, hey, more power to you, right?
I guess so. Yeah. Probably the weirdest announcement, I think, out of this whole entire show. Ubisoft is working on a TV comedy about video game development. The stars of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day, are putting together a TV show called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, which is a comedy. But hey, if you want to watch it, you're gonna have a hard time because it's only on Apple TV Plus, which I think is another weird move. So you're doing something outside the norm, which, hey, Ubisoft does that. Clearly, they make a rollerblade, basketball game, whatever you want to call that thing, and now they're making TV shows, but you're limiting your audience by having it only on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, you partnered with Netflix for one thing.
Yes.
And you think that it would make more sense to put this on Netflix, a much larger platform for people to see it. I don't know a single person with Apple Plus TV. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what Apple Plus TV is. I have no clue.
It sounds like you need an Apple TV, and it's probably a subscription service. That's all I can think of.
That's a hard pass for me.
Right.
But I would watch the heck out of it. I love Always Sunny. I love him, and I love Charlie Day. I would watch this. Like, I was dying laughing at just thinking about the ridiculousness that this show is going to be.
And we're gonna have to pirate it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just so out of place. It was just a very weird place to announce it, but oh my God, it has the potential to be hilarious.
It does. It really does. And it's just a shame that I don't think enough people are going to see it, that it's going to do anything. Like, it'll be a one-time thing. Like, there's not going to be season 2. Let's be honest. It's just going to be one and done.
Mac and Charlie make a video game. Come on.
Right.
That is an episode of Always Sunny.
Yeah. You know what? It probably was like a script that they're like, yeah, we're not going to use this one. Like, wait a minute. We got something here. Let's go to Ubisoft. They're crazy enough to fund it. And then the only other thing, really, they talked about, which we already knew this was a thing, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Be available October 4th. The game will include AI teammates, which I don't get why that was as big of a deal. Like, the crowd popped when they said that. I'm like, I never assumed that this game was going to make me have to play with 4 people live to play through it. Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me.
I didn't get that either. I'm like, wasn't that always the case? Somebody had said that apparently it wasn't going to be that way, where you were gonna, if you wanted the teammates, you had to have friends. But I'm like, I didn't see that anywhere. I don't understand why that would be the case when that's never been the case.
Right. And so I will say, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is not a day one purchase for me by any means. However, after playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and unfortunately too late where all of our buddies weren't playing it anymore, I had a ton of fun playing with it. I just got bored because the AI characters were fine, but after a while, I'm like, I really would have more fun playing and talking with somebody else and strategizing. Like, all right, I'm gonna go, take on this floor. If you want to head upstairs, we'll meet in the middle, or let's go around the house here. Like, just things like that I kind of miss, and I'd be all for it. But I'm not a day one. I'm not in it right away, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not day one on it either. I definitely want to play it, and it would be more fun with friends. But we all know here at PSVG, we are not good at that.
No, we're really not.
We're really bad at trying to play anything other than drunk cart together,
which is dumb because we really could. I just think we don't even try sometimes too. Yeah. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is we're just like, there's nothing stopping us all from being like, hey, Saturday night,
right?
Let's just all jump in and play Overwatch or whatever. Like, we just don't do it. I think that's the problem.
You know what? So how about we change that? We're gonna spearhead this, Kevin. We're gonna play some co-op stuff on a regular basis together and finish a game.
We'll figure out something to do that with. Something on Game Pass. It's free.
Yeah. That way the commitment level is very low. You just gotta show up. Just show up.
Yeah. Just show up. If it's horrible, we gotta get Donnie playing a shooter so we can make fun of him the whole time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, maybe that Rainbow Six Quarantine. Maybe that's the one. Because it's a horror game, so Donnie will play it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for it. So all right, we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, that was the whole show. John Bernthal was there, which was cool. But as you said before we hit the record button, I'll let you say it. Say it again.
He's the Punisher. I mean,
no. But why wasn't it as big a deal? Because he's
not Keanu.
Thank you. Yep.
You can have John Bernthal show up all you want, but he's no Keanu.
It's true. I bet he felt bad. Like when he was probably in Los Angeles and like saw the Xbox show and was like, oh, like he was all excited. He was like, I'm gonna be a big star at E3, and then like Keanu comes and like, oh,
yeah,
I can't compete with John Wick.
Nah, you can't. It's impossible. Neo he's timeless. He's He's in everything.
He is timeless. He is timeless.
It's ridiculous, right?
It really is. It really is. It just makes me really want to watch Bill and Ted again, and I can't wait for the next one. Like,
absolutely, I want to watch that. I want to watch Breakpoint. Just
yes.
Let's go.
Let's
just have a whole Keanu thing. Don't tell Carol though, because then she'll come claim our time to watch the movie.
She'll just want to watch Speed on repeat.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Cyberpunk is better than Speed.
Agreed.
So yeah, that was all of Ubisoft's announcement, press conference. Overall, I thought it was a decent showing. I will say it wasn't as big for me as like the last couple of years have been. Like I get super excited for Far Cry, Mario Rabbids was awesome. The whole Star Fox thing in Starlink last year was awesome. So it didn't have that big pop moment for me. But Watch Dogs, I really like. Obviously, Rainbow Six Quarantine, I'm down for. I honestly, I think that might be it for like early purchases that I'm like jumping in right away for.
Yeah.
Gods and Monsters seems cool. But I do want to see more of that. And in my head, I'm like, do I really want another Zelda-like game that's not Zelda? I don't know. But it definitely looks promising at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I kind of miss those big announcements. The way the presentation went, it was fine. I don't get the orchestra at the beginning. I think Watch Dogs, as much as I love Watch Dogs, I think they showed just a little too much. They spent too much time on it. And I just missed the big announcements. But overall, I think it was a solid showing. I'm not mad at it by any means. There are definitely some things for me and some things that are not for me, and that's fine. I think most people would probably be able to find something in that press conference to say, hey, I'm psyched about this, whatever that is. I think they had a little bit of everything for everybody there. I was a little surprised that there was no Nintendo type announcement.
You took words right out of my mouth. Like I couldn't have said anything you said better. Those were exactly how I felt about it. Like there was something there was a little bit of everything. I enjoyed it. It had there was a little weird moments there here and there, but yeah, I was most surprised that there wasn't anything Nintendo related, like nothing big Nintendo related.
Yeah, no exclusive, no crossover even. Yeah. Like, I mean, well, a crossover is a bigger deal, I think, than just having an exclusive, but there was nothing there to highlight it. But let's keep in mind, could show up on Nintendo stage.
Yeah, very
true. Never know. You never know. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Nintendo is definitely feeling themselves. So I believe that all the big Nintendo stuff, they were like, yeah, no, you're not doing it here, Trevor. We're going to do it here.
You know what? And to kind of speculate a little bit for tomorrow, or as we're recording this tomorrow, Nintendo's lawyer contacted that person that's been leaking everything and was like, you shut your mouth or we will sue the crap out of you. Right. Makes me think that there's gotta be more than what anybody's expecting. But the thing too, it's 40 minutes. Like, that's not a lot of time when you think about, we know they have games coming out this year.
Right.
And games that they haven't really talked about. Like Luigi's Mansion is a big game for them this year. We've seen nothing, not a trailer. Like, we've seen a logo. That's it.
Right.
And you're going to talk about that. We know Pokemon probably won't be there because they had its own direct for that. Maybe Animal Crossing, and people are paranoid about that going on. And that's not a game you can just show a trailer on. You got to talk a little bit about what's different, because that game can be very much the same every year. A Smash character, maybe.
I mean, and here's the thing. They could be thinking the same thing as Sony. We don't need to be there. We can have a direct here. We can have another direct next week. Like, that's the difference in what E3 is now. I mean, yeah, we've got the show floor. We've got all these conferences. But when you start leaning into like a direct style thing, you don't have to do it all in one day. They can have a really nice 40-minute direct where they talk about some really big stuff. And then in 2 weeks, have another direct and be like, yeah, this is some more post E3 things where we can control the message. Like, we don't have to worry about sharing spotlight time with E3. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah. I think it's just, yeah.
Because, I mean, Nintendo fans, when there's a direct, they know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing about Nintendo. Like, they can release information whenever, and the Nintendo people will be there and show up for it, regardless of what else is going on.
Very true. Very true. I guess time will only tell, and Nintendo Shock will cover that. I may or may not be seated for there, but we have Jared, Caro, and Donnie handling that. If not, Just matters how excited or how angry I am tomorrow at Nintendo's conference, whether or not I'm going to show up, or if I have it in me to be on a 4-hour podcast, because I feel like you get them all talking about something that ain't going to be over anytime quick. So,
Carol screaming and Donnie nonstop talking. That's pretty much what I expect.
Fair enough. So, with that being said, thank you everybody for listening to our Ubisoft recap and reactions. Let us know how you feel Ubisoft did this year. I'm excited. Dev's excited. There's definitely stuff on there. There's meat on that bone for us, at least. We hope you found something that you enjoyed. But most importantly, as always, we ask that you never stop gaming.